Inspiration. What an important and wonderful word. This Mobile Museum of Art exhibition Inspiration has been made possible through decades of hard work and dedication by the Mobile Art Association. With the seed of an idea to support local artists and bring quality art to the city of Mobile, the Mobile Art Association was one of the instrumental voices in the founding of this museum and sharing art of the Deep South. Meet these artists as they share their stories of inspiration.
My name is Carol Wiggins. The title of my work is Sanctuary, and the inspiration piece is Ernest Fiennes' Winter Morning. I saw the title, Winter Morning, and it reminded me of a little dolphin cruise that my husband and I took with some friends on a winter morning. And my husband took the photograph, and I also noticed that he had, this was an ink lithograph, and being a sommelier artist, I wanted to do it all in ink on rice paper. I painted this in my home studio. I have a little room on the back of my house. It's kind of small, but I have all my art supplies and a comfortable chair. And I worked from a photograph. As I said, my husband took the photo, and I had it printed off, and I made a general sketch with vine charcoal on the rice paper. Then I went back in with the ink and did a very light sketch with the ink. Then I went back in, referring to my photo occasionally, and added in the details. I remembered that Ernest Fiennes had some birds in his painting, so I added in a few little birds. I also added, we saw an eagle in a nest while we were on that little dolphin cruise, and so I decided to hide an eagle's nest with a little baby bird sticking out, so you can look closely and see if you can find it.
My name's Janet Hinton, and the title of my painting is Rare Snow, South Alabama, and it's an acrylic on canvas. The piece is given that I could choose my inspirational piece. It was a snow scene, and I recalled a time that I drove across east to west from Dothan, Alabama to Mobile in the snow, and I'd never driven in snow. It was about 10 years ago. So I saw the painting and it reminded me of my trip. I drove slowly from Dothan through Coffee County, Enterprise, to Evergreen, and finally to I-65. And pretty soon on I-65 the snow went away, and I'm not used to snow or driving in it, so that's the first and only time I've driven in snow. It was really quiet. I went slowly and paused to take photographs. So when I saw this piece, I thought of that trip and dug through my photographs and found a few of these, so I chose this, a farm scene. I did it in my studio, in my home, and I worked on it, had a timeline because of the exhibition, and I worked on it off and on a couple of weeks. And I usually paint from the background to the foreground. So I started with the sky, and I painted a salmon color, and then I did the drawing, and then I almost completed the sky. I went from the background to the foreground, finishing at the bottom. And I worked in a impressionist style because to me that suggests a quietness and stillness. I did some research into some other snow scenes and recalled an exhibition I saw at the Brooklyn Museum called It's Snowing. And one of my favorite pieces in it was by Claude Monet. It was called The Magpie. It was a farm scene, white, but a lot of color in the white. And there was a magpie, a bird, sitting on a gate. And so I looked back at that painting and a few others, and then put those away and started.
Hello, I'm Frank Vogel. The title of my work is Green and Blue Houses in My Neighborhood. And its construction is using an old map, a plat from the neighborhood from when the houses were built. And it's sort of like a psychological or study on the choice that people make about what color they're going to paint their houses. And so I created all of these little houses here to put in front of the plat. But before I did that, I actually did a little survey around my neighborhood, counted all the green and blue houses. And it's similar to another one I did about 20 years ago. And at that time, I counted all the blue houses, and it was titled Blue Houses in My Neighborhood. And it seems that over the past 20 years, the preference for colors of houses has changed, and that there are now more greenhouses than blue houses. And this is something, it's done in the style of Joseph Cornell, who's I was awakened to back around 2002, when Mobile was having a celebration at New Year's called First Night Mobile, and it was put together by David McCann and Peter Favier. David worked for the city special programs at the time, and they invited a number of artists to participate in the festivities, and they had a few venues where we showed our pieces. And at that time, one of the times that I was given a box. We were all the artists were given the same things to work from, and it was a box about 12 by 16 inches, and I created a box by photographing the facade of a building in town. It was actually the Battle House Hotel, and I created a number of rooms by cutting out all the windows in the photograph and building little rooms behind the windows. I drew my inspiration for this piece from Roger Brown's piece, and his painting features little houses on hills in the foreground, and I used that particular part of his work for mine here, and in this case, this is a 3D representation, of course, and I tried to attain the illusion of the depth here by creating the 3 different size houses, and I used different colors, different values of different colors to illustrate the atmospheric perspective in this case. Oh, and also I didn't mention before, but all of the green and blue houses are located on this map, and all of these down here represent those houses, even though I've thrown in a couple other colors to accompany them. And I do all of my work in I call it my shop/studio, which is in my backyard, and I spend a lot of time walking between my house and the studio, and I've always enjoyed working in there. It took me probably a month of some pretty steady work to get it done, and often I go right up to the deadline for my works, and I got this one here in time to be in this wonderful inspiration show here at the museum.
My name is Yuko Takashige Jordan, and title of my work is Interior Expansion Zentango version. And medium I chose to work with is ink and also some washi paper. Okay, I drew the inspiration from Interior Expansion 3. It's a series by Sumi Edogawa-Patman. Sumi was my teacher from when I was at the University of South Alabama. She was my printmaking teacher, and she is Japanese, but she never really spoke to me in Japanese. She was a very strict teacher. She's a tiny lady, but she always done a big intaglio pieces. And then her work is very detailed, a lot of lines, a lot of strong dark, and then light contrast. And then I always thought this was just amazing printmaking. And when museum had this show called Inspiration, and then when Sumi's work was one of the inspiration pieces, I thought I had to try and see if I can bring her world by technique with Zentango. And Zentango is the kind of art that anybody can do. There's no mistake. But to create the Sumi's world, I had to be very creative. So what I did was I have a lot of Zentango practice tiles for many years, and I decided to cut and piece like this, like mosaic, and you can see is some of the red colors, and these are washi colors, and I chose some of the gray, purple tone washi also to bring a different dimension. And Zentango has a lot of lines, so it didn't help to kind of mimic her printmaking. Although mine is pen and ink, hers are intaglio print. But I really had so much fun creating this piece and remembering the time I had with her in the studio. But also I had kind of did a joy looking back all this Zentango practice piece I created over the years. And so it is, I hope this show will inspire you to kind of look back your teachers, in my case, and to create something that I thought I would never be able to get anywhere close to Sumi, but I feel like 30 years after I took her class, I feel like I was with her again and really had a wonderful time creating this piece together. So this work for now is not for sale. I want to spend some more time with this piece, and then I think to create this work, once concept got together and the material were all together, I think it took me a 1 week. But there was a lot of long nights. I could not stop making it once I got on the roll.
My name is Stephanie Bramley, Bromley, and the title of my work is Circles, Trees, and Threes. And it is an assemblage, a found object assemblage. When we were asked to be inspired by the different pieces of artwork that the Mobile Art Association has donated to the museum over the years, I couldn't pinpoint one. I saw a common denominator amongst a lot of them, and those things were circles, things with trees, landscapes, and things that were in unity of 3. And then the number 3 is very important to me because of my Christian belief of the Trinity, and so I always use triangular balance in my artwork to try and even things out, to expose more of what I feel both artistically and with my Christian beliefs. My creative process is that I just go and look at the different things that I've accumulated because I've been an art teacher for over 45 years, and so artists are very known for collecting a bunch of different things. And so in my studio I have a whole lot of different things. And when the tree bit, my brother is a carpenter, and so I was able to put some pieces of trees in there, and then just all the different circle things that are in there, because even the term circle is interesting because of the unity of 360 degrees and all of that. But the fact that there were circles in the different paintings, and then I tried to do the different 3 unified with the triangular balance. And then I also like to juxtapose certain things off of the main part. And I mean, even this is an old cabinet that came from my brother, who is a cabinet maker. And then just little pot lids and plates. This was a palette that I had, and when I finished, I looked at all the colors and I'm thinking, I don't even want to use this as a palette anymore. I want to just incorporate it in my artwork. And so you can see, the longer you look at it, the more you see. My entire carport is now my studio. No longer is there a car or a boat or lawn equipment. The entire carport is my workspace. It's for sale, or if it doesn't sell, it will come back to the studio. But I have such a plethora of pieces already that I would very much appreciate if somebody would love it enough to buy it.